Whew. Well, they won. You know? Yeah, they won. You know? And at this point in the year, that's really what matters is that they won. And, honestly, I'll take it. A win over the Ravens, I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. Now, look, I told a lot of y'all. I told Tony on the AFC North Talk. I told Sonny. I told Ace this. They're like, oh, Quincy, man, Ravens missing so many people. This is going to be a blowout. I can see a blowout for this game. And I told y'all, this offense is not to be trusted. And what does that mean when the offense is not to be trusted? Couch says he hates kickers. I do too. Can't trust them, can't love them, can't cuff them. But what does that mean when you can't trust this offense? Is that when you need the game to be put away to make everybody else's life easier, offense ain't going to come through for you. That just is what it is. It's the kind of offense that we got. It's good to know. Now we can move on and play football. The good news is that your defense is good. They got tired out at the end there, but they're really good. They're really good. I think they're legit really good. JOK stud. Myles Garrett. I mean, what more needs to be said about Myles Garrett? Really? What more needs to be said about Myles Garrett? Well, what is this? Kevin Stefanski, well, I need to be better. I'm going to defend Kevin Stefanski today. I'm going to defend Kevin Stefanski, and I'll tell you guys why. Max Nilikenko says, why do the Browns religiously run the ball on 1st and 10 with Chubb? Because that's what y'all want, Max. Right? That when the stadium's chanting Chubb, Chubb, Chubb on 1st and 10, run the ball on 1st and 10. He going to give you what you want, right? Ain't that what everybody want? Because if he wasn't running on 1st and 10, we'd be upset. Here's the thing with the offense, man. It ain't just Kevin. I have seen this turn over the last 4 weeks where everybody acts like all the offensive problems are Kevin. Like it went from Baker to Kevin. People go Baker or Kevin. It's either Baker or Kevin. It's both Baker and Kevin. Because what was the difference between the offense last year and this season last year versus this year? I'll tell you one quite simple difference. When the offense needed to score to put a game away, when the offense needed a play to put the game away, they got it. Against Philly, Nick Chubb gets that run, slides down before he scores a touchdown. Offense makes a play before that game gets close. Same thing happened against the Houston Texans. Same thing happened against the Steelers last year, the second game against the Steelers. Countless other times you can go through this, right? The Pittsburgh game in the playoffs, offense made the play to put the game away. So that's the difference. And whose fault is that? It's Baker and Kevin Stefanski. I don't think that they both went overnight and became terrible players at football or terrible coaches at football, but they're both having down years at the same time. Now, Kevin's a second-year head coach, and I think we need to be lenient on well, not lenient, but we need to be more understanding that with a second-year head coach, there's going to be growing pains, right? That's just the truth. He's going to give you growing pains. He's a second-year head coach, and he's a young, first-time second-year head coach. I mean, we can go back in the history books and look at Bill Belichick's first 5 years if y'all want to. He didn't go 500, right? But he still became Bill Belichick because there's growing pains when it comes to a new head coach. It's part of the reason why they gave Hugh Jackson 3 years, even though he wasn't a first-year head coach. There's growing pains. And quite honestly, if the worst Kevin Stefanski is going to give us is 7-6 with the chance for first place in December, I'll take it. Right? If that's the worst Kevin's going to give us, I'll take it. These coaches, Kevin's going to develop and get better over time, right? If this is a bad year for Kevin Stefanski, this is a bad year. Like, imagine this. This is a bad year for Kevin Stefanski, right? 7-6. Look at what other coaches have not done with this franchise in their best year. So, and look, I don't think this is just a specific, Browns fans are like this thing. I think all fans are like this, to be honest. Like every fan base wants to fire their coach at one point in time. Everybody wants to. There are fans who wanted Bill Belichick fired last year. People want John Harbaugh fired. People want Mike Tomlin fired. Every fan base wants to fire their head coach, right? But Kevin ain't going nowhere, and Kevin shouldn't go nowhere. We're going to give Kevin a chance to work this out. News Hawk with the $5 super chat says, Quincy is loading. Cincy is losing. Yes, that's something to watch. The Browns could be in second place if Cincinnati loses. That'd be huge. Also, another one to watch is the Bills versus Tampa Bay. If Tom Brady beats the Bills, which he usually does, then that also puts the Browns really close into the wild card race. I think they might actually be tied for a spot there if that happens. So Browns are in the thick of it, dog. Like this ain't like, oh, we need magic to happen. The Browns are in the thick of it. If they beat the Raiders, if they would have won 2 weeks ago and then won this game, things would be interesting right now. I think they would be tied for first. But now that since they didn't win that game, if they beat the Raiders next week, things are going to start to get interesting as far as playoff hopes go. Offense, I don't know. But the defense seems to be good enough to win you a game or two. Ray Rags with a super chat says, it's not even the offense couldn't score, is that they couldn't even eat clock to give the defense a breather. Yeah, I mean, this has been a problem. And honestly, it's been a problem even last year. And I know it's being deemed a Kevin Stefanski problem, but when the Browns go up by like 20, not only does Kevin Stefanski not call the best plays, Baker doesn't play that well. I would love to see his splits when he's up 20, what Baker looks like, but Baker doesn't play that well up 20. Right? Like this is something that like, you know what I mean? This is where it frustrates you, right? Because as franchise quarterbacks, what you want is when you have that lead and the defense is giving you so much, hey, franchise quarterback, take over for one drive, get us out of this, take it away, right? It's what the Vikings wanted Kirk Cousins to do versus the Steelers on Thursday night that he didn't do, but they squeezed away with the win. And it's the same wall we're running up in with Baker Mayfield. It's like, hey, man, Baker, take this play away, take this drive, win this game, put it away. And for whatever reason, we ain't getting that. Sometimes we got it last year, and that's kind of the difference, is that he made those plays last year. This year, he ain't making them plays at all. He ain't making them plays at all. Kevin's calling the plays, but the quarterback's supposed to make them plays. And none of that's happening, right? It ain't like they making plays, but they're like short or they're scheme. Like this ain't like Freddie Kitchens where the schemes are just terrible. Like this ain't it. This ain't that. Kevin's gonna be here for a while. Kevin's gonna be a really good coach. Kevin's going through some growing pains as far as play calling goes, but we just gonna have to live through that because it's gonna be worth it. Because again, all this complaining about Kevin Stefanski, he has a 7-6 ball club with a chance to win first place. Yeah, I mean, Jake has the right idea. We could have Urban Meyer. Thank you for the super chat, Jake. We could have Urban Meyer. We could still have Freddie Kitchens. Yeah, I mean, we can't just blame the coach. Where else are we at? $5 super chat for Young Mac. Appreciate you, Young Matt. Mike Nilikenko with Stefanski is Mike Zimmer disciple. I don't see this working out long term. Why not? Why does it matter who his disciple is? I don't get that one, Max. You're going to have to explain that one to me. I don't get why just because he came from the Mike Zimmer coaching tree, he can't be good. That makes no sense. He's been better than Mike Zimmer for 2 years now, win-loss record-wise. That one makes no sense to me. I mean, would you not want Sean McVay? What coaching tree did Sean McVay come from? Like a Ron Rivera? I don't get that one. I don't get that one at all. And look, there's a lot of stuff to why this game got so close that doesn't make a lot of sense. That doesn't make a lot of sense to blame like the coach or the quarterback, right? Like the special teams coach. Why in the world is Andy Janovich on your hands team play? Like, why is that man out there? Why we got big chunky ass Andy Janovich out there on hands team? Special teams coach. Why do we do that? That makes no sense to me. Defensively, one of the things that did frustrate me was like one drive versus Tyler Huntley. They decided we're not going to blitz him anymore. We're going to muck the rush, and we're just going to sit there and spy with Myles Garrett. And that worked. They got a sack, and they pushed him back on that drive. And then even in the last drive, that's exactly what they did versus Tyler Huntley. But like the other two drives where the Ravens scored, they just didn't do that. So you had made the adjustment. The adjustment worked, and then you didn't stick with the adjustment. That's something that I was like, well, what was that? And then offensively, like, how much more mad can I be at the offense, to be honest with you? Like, at some point, I just got to stop being angry at them because it is what it is. They are what they are. They're just not that good. This unit isn't that good. You're not getting great quarterback play, no matter what people on Twitter want to tell you. The quarterback play is not great. If it was great, I would tell you. If it was good, I would tell you. But the quarterback play is not great. You're not getting great wide receiver play either. You're not getting great offensive line play in pass blocking. This is just not a good offense. And how you had to beat the Baltimore Ravens was doing exactly what you're not that good at, which is throwing the ball. So, yeah, the offense looked like Duke at times. It looked okay at others. That's just kind of what this offense is going to do in that given situation. I don't think that's a surprise. I'm not shocked at all. That is what this offense has been all year. Hopefully they find a way to get better next year. But for this year, that's kind of the situation they are. The Browns are a grimy, grinded out kind of team, right? This is a run the football, play defense, do that thing, try to get some turnovers, type of football team. They're not a flashy throw the ball team like last year. This is what they're going to have to do to grind out these wins, man. And they're good enough to grind out some wins and maybe even win the division. Who knows? They're in position to. Yeah, they'll fit. They got. I don't have the difference between this and same old Browns, right? To me, and why I'm not so upset or like sad about like what's going on this year is I have the utmost faith that this team will get this turned around next year offensively. Like they'll get some picks. They'll get some. They'll sign some free agents. They'll figure out what's wrong and they'll adjust and they'll be better in year 3. Year 2 is a big disappointment offensively, but year 3, I think they'll be better. Ray Rag says, I think the Bengals game this year was like the only time they didn't let the team back in since Stefanski has started. Literally, I think that's true. Yeah, I think that's true. That's true. I have to go back and see, just from the Baker Mayfield era, if we start with Baker Mayfield, how many times have they let teams back in, if it might be a Baker thing too. News Hawk says $5 super chat, more Higgins. I mean, if they felt like Higgins would be the answer on offense, they would try it. I feel like they're desperate. I mean, honestly, I feel like they're desperate. If they thought Higgins was going to do anything, they would try it. I don't think Higgins is going to do anything to fix this offense. I really don't. But, see, and then make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Yeah, but that's kind of where they're at, man. We could go 5 wide, 12 personnel, whatever. We ain't scoring that many points. Arendal says, the Bears were never in that game against us. You know what's actually true this year? The Browns last year gave up more big leads than they did this year. Obviously, the defense has something to do with that, but Last year, they gave up way more big leads. The difference, again, and I kind of touched on this in my live watch along, it just feels different when the offense makes the big play to end the game versus when the defense does. When the defense does, it feels like, man, we kind of just got lucky. When the offense does, it feels like you took control and won the game. It's not really that different, but it does feel different. I think that's why a lot of people feel different. Somebody said this is a 7-6 team that should be 9-4. Absolutely disagree with that. This is a 7-6 team that should absolutely be 7-6. At what point did you look at this? Like, you can say that roster-wise, they should be a 9-4 team. Absolutely roster-wise. But if you look at the product on the field, no, this is a 7-6 football team. You know what I mean? This is what it is. Part of this is growing pains. Part of this is bad execution and bad play from players who are supposed to be good. I think the names on the roster have disappointed us, and I think sometimes the coaching staff has disappointed us. I think it's both, man. Legless with the super chat looked better when they were throwing it early and often in the first half, running the ball, sitting on the lead, too predictable. I would also ask you, Legless, do you think the Ravens adjusted at all? Because I feel like the Ravens made some adjustments that took the passing game out of it for a little while and really disrupted Baker Mayfield. Like, you got to give the Ravens coaching staff credit. I think they made some adjustments. They tried to pass the ball in the second half. It just wasn't successful. I think Baker might have completed like 6 passes in the second half. All right, Franklin Toll with the update says Bills are losing to Tampa Bay 17-3. That's good. Cincy is losing to San Francisco 10-3. That's also very good. Whole playoff picture can change for us tonight. The Browns could go in to this game versus the Raiders, and that could be for like sole ownership of a playoff spot very late in the season. Again, it's all ahead of them. And hell, they might have one of those giant years where like, hey, we stink during the regular season, but somehow during the postseason we turn it around. Who knows? I'm just in for the ride. And right now the ride's telling me this offense ain't that good. Nick Nasty with the $2 super chat. 4th and 11, we forget to cover Andrews. Yeah, man, as many plays as the defense made, I'm not going to be upset because they didn't make one. The defense made you won this game. I'm not going to be upset at the defense. Like, that's what making plays affords you, though, Nick. You know what I mean? Like, if this were the offense and they did something like that, yeah, they would get no leniency because they didn't make any plays. But since the defense made so many plays, you get grace on the plays you don't make because you've made plays, right? Like, the defense gets a ton of grace today. We're not going to talk about all those missed opportunities on the defense just because Myles Garrett got a strip sack and scored it for a touchdown. They got like 5 3-and-outs on Lamar Jackson, got like 6 on Tyler Huntley. Like, they did their job. They got like a couple turnovers. Nah, man, defense gets all the grace in the world. They could have messed up the situation and almost lost this game. I'm still mad at the offense because the defense deserves grace. They made plays to get their game over with. The offense just didn't. But hey, we won the game. Luis with a $2 super chat says, do you think the offense will get better? I would think they have to get somewhat better throughout the course of this year. I'm not convinced that they will be at a level where I can trust them. Right? Like, that's my thing with it. Like, the offense, are they going to put up more points than this week? Yeah, absolutely. Are they going to be trustworthy? I don't know. Not this year. Grand Scheme has said Baker has shown he could be explosive and an accurate gunslinger. Why has Kevin become 3 times more safe? They're going to have to rectify that in the offseason, right? Either Kevin's going to grow and adjust to his quarterback, or Kevin's going to decide whether his quarterback fits his needs on offense or not. Both can be decisions that work. But that's what it's going to come down to, man. But, hey, man. Yeah, like when the offense makes that play at the end of the game, it feels like you came through adversity. When the defense does, it doesn't feel like it, even though it's the same exact thing. Look, this defense deserves all the credit in the world. Somebody asks, do you think the Ravens make that comeback without Lamar? Well, with Lamar? I don't know. I don't think the Browns defense plays that way. I don't think the Browns play as much off coverage if Lamar's in the game. I think they continue to blitz Lamar, right? When Tyler Huntley's in there, the ideal that the Ravens are going to come back from a 3-touchdown lead is kind of ridiculous. So you're going to play like that. When Lamar Jackson's in there, the ideal that the Ravens could come back from a 3-touchdown lead is very believable. Like absolutely 100% believable. So you're going to play with more aggressiveness. I think they play more aggressive if Lamar is in there versus if Tyler Huntley isn't. Now, whether Lamar makes those plays or not, I don't know, but I think how they play defensively completely changes if it's Lamar Jackson, right? We did the same thing as fans that I feel like the team did, right? Lamar got in there. Well, Lamar got out of there. We read that he was out, and we kind of just lean back and relax, right? Like we kind of just like, okay, cool. Like we took a breather. You know what I mean? Because it's not Lamar out there, right? If Lamar's out there, we never take that breath. So I don't know if it gets into that situation because I think defensively it becomes a completely different game. Like defensively, this team has done a lot to put this team in a winning position. I think the reason that they're over 500 is because of this defense and how well they have played and how much they have kept a bad Browns offense in the game. But, you know, we'll see. Did I miss a super chat? But yeah, man. Overall, look, wins come in all shapes and sizes, and this year we're getting a lot of defensive wins. Hopefully the offense is saving it up for later in the season. It's already late. But hopefully the offense decides to show up at some point, right? Because we know that they're capable from a player-to-player standpoint. But, you know, they're just not playing that level. And again, we can blame one person for this, or we can blame what's actually wrong, which is everything on offense. And also, let's not forget, they didn't have their tight ends. And as much as we hate it, they're a tight end reliant offense. So when you don't have David Njoku, when you don't have Harrison Bryant, and you're a team that runs a ton of 12 personnel, when you get deep into especially when you get a lead, you're just not going to have the packages that you like to run out there to run the ball out of. And you're not going to have the packages that you like to throw out of in play action, right? And I think that's kind of didn't help them. Look, I'm just going to give this team a ton of grace this week. I'm just going to let it go. I'm not going to bitch and moan about winning this game because, quite frankly, division wins, you just need to get them. I don't care how you get them. You just need to. Ray Rags with the $10 super chat says, just a quick glance at the box score. It looks like the blown lead thing is more of a Stefanski thing. The Baker, they had less leads without Kevin, but they really didn't blow the ones they had. When did they ever, I think they blew out the Falcons in 2018. And I think they almost blew out the Carolina Panthers. I know that they had a blowout versus the Miami Dolphins in 2019 that almost came back on them, but it was never a serious threat. It was just it made it less of a blowout than what it was. Brownie post game, Mike sent in a $5 super chat who says, "What can the offense do to adjust to 8 to 9 men in the box every game?" I mean, the best adjustment would be to be more productive in the passing game. That's how you get rid of those 8-9 man boxes, right? They're daring you to throw the ball, be better at throwing the ball. That's partly on Baker, right? That's a good chunk on Baker. If Baker is playing better, then some of these things just don't happen that we're complaining about. That's the truth of it. We give quarterbacks all the credit when they win. We got to give them that same credit if they don't. Max says, offense better buy dinner for the defense for the rest of the season. Yeah, Baker Mayfield, if he gets a new contract somehow, because this team gets carried to the playoffs, and then that affords Baker enough time to get healthy and play really well at the end of the season. If that happens and he gets a new contract, half of his contract should go to Myles Garrett. Just take it out like taxes. Because half of his contract should go to Myles Garrett. If this team finds a way to make a playoffs and the Browns end up making a run, the defense afforded you that. half of your contract should go. Instead of signing Baker Mayfield, Baker should accept a low deal and just let Miles get more money, right? Like, because that's really what's been going on here, man. It really is. Myles Garrett. Let's talk about Myles Garrett and why Myles Garrett might be one of my favorite Browns of all time. J. Rob with the $5 super chat says thoughts on Greedy getting torched several times today. Greedy was fine. Greedy's greedy. Like, that's just greedy right there, though. Like, Greedy's going to play well for like 98% of the game, but he might give up a couple of big plays. Like, that's why Greedy doesn't start. But that's why Greedy's a good backup. That's just kind of what Greedy does. You know what I mean? Again, it's not like we're relying on Greedy for the future. We got Greg Newsome. So Greedy is greedy. You know what I mean? And that's fine for Greedy Williams. I'm fine with how Greedy played today. I really am. I really am fine with that. Yeah. I think y'all misunderstanding what I said about Lamar. I'm saying if Lamar is out there, he's still Lamar Jackson, whether he's playing horrible or not. Teams are going to play Lamar Jackson differently than Tyler Huntley. If you're out there, right? Imagine if you're out there and Lamar Jackson's still at quarterback. You're still going to have in the back of your mind, it's still Lamar. He could turn it on at any time. If it's Tyler Huntley, that's definitely not Lamar. You know what I mean? So you're going to relax a little bit. Ray Rag says, just had a quick, okay, I read that one already. Yeah, Greedy's going to be all right, man. Again, Greedy's a backup corner. He's probably not going to be on the team next year. Like, he's pretty good for like 90% of the game, but he can get torched. It's Greedy Williams. Like, that's the Greedy Williams experience. But Browns are 7-6. They got a much needed division win. So they even their division record up to 2-2. Puts them definitively now ahead of Pittsburgh since Pittsburgh lost. Baltimore lost. If all three AFC North teams lose, the Browns obviously gain a game up here. And again, we're looking at a Ravens team that might not have. Oh, God, somebody said put Greedy at slot. Oh, no. But we're looking at a Ravens team that for the next handful of games, they might not have Lamar Jackson for a couple of games here, right? What does that do to your win-loss record? That makes it a lot more likely that they're going to lose. They also lost Calais Campbell in this game. We don't know for how long, but they lost him. They already don't got Hump. So this is a Ravens team that is more susceptible to losing than ever before. They're at the top of the division. And if things fall your way today, you will be one game out of first place. And you got the Raiders at home, which is a winnable game. You do play the Green Bay Packers on the road. That's going to be tough as hell because we ain't got no offense. But maybe that's the game where the offense wakes up. But you do have Green Bay at home. Well, Green Bay on the road. Then you get Pittsburgh. You should beat Pittsburgh. Like, you got to beat Pittsburgh. And then you got to beat Cincinnati. But you've beaten Cincinnati before. Hopefully you could do it again. But you got to beat those two teams. So, I mean, like, it's not the most unreasonable. It's actually a very reasonable path. They can beat the Raiders. I'm not going to say they should because this team has never done what they should do ever historically versus the Raiders. But they can beat the Raiders. Kareem Hunt got hurt in this game, by the way. Ray Rag says they blew out the Bengals and the Falcons in 2018. Oh, yeah, the Bengals are always good for like one blowout. And the Jets and the Ravens in 2019. Oh, yeah, they did. That Jets blowout, though, I remember that being a very unsatisfying blowout for whatever reason. Like, I think the offense looked like absolute dookie in that game. Maybe it's just that Baker doesn't play well in odd years. You know what I mean? Like, we just need to form. Maybe we need to just put this up and just have Baker playing even years. And then he'll be good. You know, maybe it's that. Maybe it's the odd years. Because, like, 2019, not good. 2021, not good. 2018, good. 2020, really good. Might just be Baker don't play well in odd years. You know what I mean? Next year is an even year. Let's get it. Hey, if we get to 2022, we're going to see some serious shit. That's what I'm saying. like if we win against the Raiders, we could do whatever against the Packers. And then we get to 2022, that's an even year. Baker going to be Baker again. That's what I'm betting on. Look, it's the odd year, even year thing with Baker Mayfield. Because when did he actually played well in that playoff game. He actually played well in the playoffs last year. That was 2021. But, it's technically 2022. He's going to turn it around, baby. He's going to turn it around. If we just get past January and we can get to the playoffs, 2022 for the rest of the year, we're going to be good. We're going to be good. But for the rest of 2021, for the next 3 weeks, I feel like the offense is going to look like this. Hey, the Browns, it's up to the Browns whether they want to play their best stretch of football right now. The defense certainly looks like they want to play their best stretch of football. All right, now let me get back to talking about Myles Garrett, man. Like, we ain't going to stop talking about these players that make us mad. I'm tired of talking about the players that make us mad. I really am. They don't deserve this much talk, right? Because they're not playing well. Let's talk about my favorite guys on this team. I'm going to start with Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is so good at football, man. He is so good. He is such a great athlete. Like, again, I know there were people who thought Myles doesn't disrupt enough. I know there were people who thought Myles wasn't a good enough player to deserve the hype. I know people, even Cleveland Browns fans, were sitting here talking about TJ Watt should be the defensive player of the year. He has more production per game than Myles Garrett. And I'm just like, Myles Garrett better. You know why Myles Garrett's better? Myles Garrett has an athletic ability that nobody else has in the NFL. Myles Garrett can get lower, can get deeper, can outman your strongest tackle all in the same play. By the way, Jadeveon Clowney not bad on that other side. I mean, somebody has been lobbying for this for 3 years, but I'm glad it's working out. Jadeveon Clowney in Cleveland Brown and Orange. By the way, give a shout out to Jadeveon Clowney because he won the game. He made the big play, right? If we don't get that sack to knock them back 20 yards on that last drive after they got the onside kick, we might have a different live stream right now. But guess what? Jadeveon came through because Jadeveon is the man and Myles Garrett is the man. And if we can just get just a little bit of offensive help at some point in this year, just a little bit of it, we could beat the Giants in 07. We could beat the Giants in 2011. If we just get a little bit of help, just a tiny bit of help offensively. If Baker, can you do your best Eli Manning impression? It could be right there in front of us. Because not only do you have Myles Garrett on one end playing dominant football, Jadeveon Clowney playing the best football arguably since he was in his prime in Houston this year. Let's talk about that. But then you got JOK just running around there like a madman, making every play in the book. This defense is so freakishly talented athletically that I honestly don't know who is the most eye-popping talent on this team. And you have Myles Garrett, right? Usually on any team, it's Myles Garrett. But then you see the stuff that JOK does just casually. And you're like, man, he might be a better athlete. Like JOK, on that play where Lamar got his ankles hurt, unfortunately, JOK blitzed on the delayed blitz, was there before the fullback or running back could get to him, shook the guy. Lamar shakes him, but then he just mirrors Lamar's hips and sticks with him and then gets a hand on him and takes him down. You know how athletic you have to be to do that. Nobody has not done that to Lamar Jackson. Oh, by the way, Denzel Ward. Thank you for the super chat, Shadow, who says Ward's been playing like an all-pro this year. Oh, yeah, Denzel Ward playing his best football. This is the best. He was out there slapping people in the run plays and in the passing game. Denzel Ward is Denzel Ward again, baby. And he's healthy. Yeah, man. This defense is so healthy right now and so good right now. We can just get a little bit of support on offense. Like, just give me 30 points. Just give me a Nick Chubb game. Just give me some support. This team could go all the way if they just get that. They this close. They're this close. And fortunately for this team, all they have to do to reach those goals is to make the playoffs. And despite how bad they played on offense, they're still this close to making the playoffs. This close to winning the division. They're this close. This Browns team is this close. Like, it might not feel like that, but they're this close. See that? It's not a lot of space. They're that close to winning the division, to doing what they need to do. If the offense just gives us a little bit, we're going to be all right. But they got to do it. That's been the tough acts of this year. Denzel's been excellent. Greg Newsome, when he's been out there, excellent. I really like what I've been seeing out of Grant Delpit. John Johnson's been a disappointment, but we can mitigate that with JOK. Because JOK, I thought he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be this. JOK is excellent. Like, teams are avoiding JOK now, and it's making other players better. They can have Jacob Phillips out there because JOK is that good. Nah, man. JOK, Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome. Joe Woods got himself a unit. Ray Rag says Denzel Ward hurt my feelings. Shout out to Gus Johnson on that one. I think he likes hitting people more than covering them. Denzel Ward, one of them deceptively hard hitters. Because you look at Denzel Ward and he looks like a pencil. Like, he's not very big. He's kind of like lanky, but he's only 6 foot. But he be putting that shoulder in. That little tiny little shoulder of Denzel Ward be putting in work on the football field. Like, he be hitting people super hard. Troy Hill, he's somebody who deserves some respect. Troy Hill been great in that run game. Nah, man, this defense is good, man. I trust this defense. You know what I mean? I trust them at the end of the day. If we need one stop, the defense is going to get that one stop. I feel like they're going to bow up. We got enough playmakers. Miles is a playmaker. Malik McDowell is a playmaker. Jadeveon Clowney is a playmaker. JOK is a playmaker. Denzel Ward is a playmaker. Please. Please. And when you have a defense that good, no matter how your offense is performing, you always have a chance to win. Even when you play Aaron Rodgers. So, you know, I feel good about this team. Well, I don't feel good about this team. Let me rephrase that. I feel good about that part of this team. And I think if the other part of this team can just get to average, and it shouldn't be that hard because they were much better than average last year, then we got something to be happy about. But until then, the offense can't be trusted, and you got to win games like this. This is how they – like, if they beat the Raiders next week, it's going to look like this. If they beat the Green Bay Packers, it's going to look like this, right? Maybe Cincinnati, maybe once we get to that point, they can get right, or Pittsburgh. But these next two games, if they win, it's going to look like this. So get used to this, because if they get 2 wins playing with it looking like this, that's 2 wins. And the good news is I don't think the run game is going to look as bad against the Raiders as it did against Baltimore. I don't think the run game's ever going to look as bad as it has against Baltimore. Baltimore's always been able to stop our runs. They've just been really good at it. For the most part, I think maybe one game we were able to run the ball on them. But Baltimore's always been able to stop our run attack. They've always been uniquely good at it. I don't think these other teams are going to be able to play Nick Chubb as well. Hopefully Kareem Hunt's not seriously hurt. he can come back and play next week because the Kareem Hunt plays, we're going to be in much better position. When these tight ends come back, we're going to look better. All right, so hopefully the tight ends coming back, hopefully these running backs coming out changes something, just gets this offense to average. That's all I want. I don't need them to be great. I don't need this to be the best offense in the world, but I do need them to be average. Because if this offense could be average, we can start to get excited. The Bills are down 24-3, by the way. That's an excellent result for the Browns. And the 49ers have the ball right now to end the second quarter, but they're only up 10-6. So keep an eye on that result. We're going to try to get to some of these Kevin Stefanski press conferences. See what he had to say, even though he says the same thing every week. Most coaches do. I felt like special teams, well, the kicker got to go, by the way. I know some of y'all love this kicker, McLaughlin. That man got to go. I'm sorry. It's a wrap, bro. The kicker got to go. That kicker got to bounce. He has to go. That is his third missed field goal in 3 weeks. He's got to go. He's got to go. I'm sorry. Homie's got to bounce. I know he made a long field goal earlier this season. Some of y'all got excited about him. Well, I tell y'all about kickers, man. What I tell y'all. Unless they Justin Tucker, don't cuff him. Evan said Baker said he's feeling his best since week 2. Yeah, I mean, like maybe when he gets his tight ends back out there, he looks differently. And he didn't look bad today. He just didn't have that one drive to put the game away, right? I think that's the difference from us talking about Baker playing good and Baker playing bad or Baker playing is right now he just had a pretty average game. And when you have an average game for players as polarizing as Baker, there are going to be some people who are going to tell you that's great. There are going to be some people that are going to tell you that's really, really bad. It was just You know what I mean? If he would have gotten that last drive to put the Browns at 30 points and put this game away completely, we would be talking about it differently. Ravens Nation says, props to Cleveland, Q. You guys earned it. Appreciate you. Do we keep Colquitt? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I don't know what they're going to do with Jamie G. Well, I feel like Colquitt's a better punter. I don't know why he got cut. But yeah. Let me see here. Did I miss a super chat? All right, man. Hopefully this audio thing has been resolved. I really hope so. But we're going to try to listen to this. Oh, wait. Are you guys hearing the echo or anything, by the way? Let me know if you're hearing the echo. Oh, San Francisco just scored? That's good. That's good. We back to scoreboard watching, y'all. No echo? All right, cool. All right, let's try to get this in. By the way, a homie got YouTube Premium, so we ain't going to have to sit through. We ain't going to have to sit through these ads. Okay, let's go Kevin Stefanski victory speech. Stop. Okay, why did that happen? Let me go redo it. I hate. Let me take y'all behind the scenes. Mac OS is really good. And the Mac stuff, like the M1 stuff, is really good. Somebody said, Wesley Johnson said, keep Colquitt to replace Keenum. Yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah, hold on. Let me switch and then search the answer here. But the one thing that's really stupid that Mac OS doesn't let you do is record your desktop with sound. And that is more of a pain in the ass than it really needs to be for streaming. It is like the biggest pain in the ass. Like, they need to just let you record it. I don't know. It's some kind of security thing, but I don't care about it. Just let me record the damn desktop audio and stream it. It's so freaking annoying. It is really the most annoying thing in the world. Like, it almost makes me want to just switch back to Windows. It's such a simple thing that has a simple solution. Okay. Let me see if I do the AirPods one. Does it fix it? This is so stupid that it doesn't work properly. All right, do y'all hear an echo right now?
Starting off that run, 1-0. Good job. Now, +1 in the turnover
hear that?
margin. Right? That's how we're going to win this game. How about that defense? 2 takeaways. Number 95 decided to do it on his own. Sack, fumble recovery, touchdown. Okay, they were 1 of 12 on third down. Okay? At the end of the game there, right, we get a huge sack by number 90. And then a huge 4th down by number 21. Offense, right? 2 for 2 in the red zone, which was the difference, guys. They were 2 for 3 in the red zone. We stopped them on defense. We were 2 for 2.
Yeah, I know it stopped. Hold on. Bengals fumbled again? Man, that's crazy.
Which was the difference, guys. They were 2 for 3 in the red zone. We stopped them on defense. We were 2 for 2. That's the number 1 red zone defense there is, right? So that's a good job. Efficient, 6 of 13 on third down. Special teams, kickoff unit. You guys are playing out of your mind right now. All right, we got to keep that up. And then how about number 19, JoJo, with that heads-up play with that ball rolling by the side. JoJo. That's the smart part. A smart, tough, accountable, resilient team, and we need that resiliency. Yep. We need it. That's what the NFL is, guys. It's never easy, okay? It never is, all right? It's hard. And when it's hard, what do we say when it's hard, Case? Good. It's hard. That's what we want, okay? Now, if we stick together, if we share in these wins.
Oh, my bad.
We got a chance. This is a good football team here, okay? Hey, I appreciate how this team fights. Fight, scratch, and claw for every single inch. Okay? Appreciate you guys. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an echo, but it's not as annoying as the other echoes that I've been having with this. All right, man. Let's hear from Myles Garrett. Let's hear from Myles Garrett, and who's up there with him? Denzel Ward. Let's go.
We were in zero coverage, and we just tried to hesitate, then run like a quick slant, and was able to get my eyes on it and drive on it and make the play.
Did you see something that kind of told you they were going with that slant?
No, I mean, I just went through my keys, really, that we were taught, and was able to attack on it and get him down before he got the first down.
This past month or so, is this the best you've ever played?
Oh, that's why it does that.
I don't know. I have to compare it, I guess. And it depends on what you're comparing it to. But I'm just really focused on winning. We're just trying to win the game. And,
that should fix it.
Get to the playoffs.
Okay,
What does it say about the defense when you guys respond?
that should fix the
I
echo.
was excited. I mean, I love playing
that
the game of
fixed it.
football. So, I mean, just ready to go back out there and make a play for the team and do what we got to do to get the win.
Did you get any view of that Miles touchdown?
Nah, I didn't even see what happened, really. I just turned around and seen Miles running to the end zone, so I was cheering and happy and everything.
What did you say about him? I mean, on Friday he said he kind of challenged everybody to have
Hey, by the way, I'm going to need Myles Garrett to call out the defense every week because, like, literally, every week that Myles Garrett calls out the defense, it's like one of the best performances of the year. Remember he was, like, without his shirt talking about we need to play better as a defense, and then he got, like, 4 sacks?
Or have a sharper attention to detail, then comes out and makes, one of the biggest plays of the game.
I mean, that's the type of player Miles is. He's a leader for our team, and I mean, that's what he got to do. He challenged everybody, but even though he challenged us, Miles, he's going to come in and back it up, though, as well. So he's going to go out there and make plays, and you obviously seen that, and we needed it.
We have Miles Garrett going in now.
A similar tackle on the second.
I like how Myles Garrett's get down is, I'm too big for you to talk about how I dress. Like, Myles Garrett could go out there dressed like Big Bird. Remember the last time he was out there dressed like the Banana Man from Curious George? He don't care. What you gonna say about that outfit to Myles Garrett's face? He got on a Bill Cosby 1999 like Biggie Smalls Coogee sweater on right now. Like this man, I actually have a similar sweatshirt to it. I don't know why I'm roasting it. I have a similar sweatshirt to that. I don't look as good in it, but I do have a similar sweatshirt. But he just slide in with that big old zebra print goofy sweater, and it looks good on him because he's Myles Garrett. And ain't nobody gonna say that. Like, they put Kyle Kuzma on blast on Twitter about that little pink sweater that he was wearing. It wasn't little, it was a giant pink sweater he was wearing. They ain't gonna do that to Myles. And that's the privilege of being Myles Garrett. You gotta love it.
Like the first play, kind of,
Look how big Myles Garrett is compared to. All right, let me play.
it's almost like a tone-setting tackle for a 2-yard gain. Did it feel like that?
Is Myles Garrett drinking soy sauce, or is that a regular bottle in his hands? Like, what is this bottle of juice? There is no way that bottle is that small. Or is Myles Garrett that big? Because that looks like soy sauce. It looked like he just down in soy sauce right now.
Time, or was that any kind of signal that you meant business today?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I thought it brought me back to my college days or whatever that hit. But I feel it definitely took us on. But I mean, the defense, I feel everybody was setting the tone the whole time and did what they're supposed to do.
So Miles, when Miles, when did you know you were going to score on that?
By the way, this is not Baker's team. This is Myles Garrett's team, by the way. It is so obviously Myles Garrett's team. Like, Baker might be the quarterback, but there is no way. That is a tiny bottle of Gatorade. Why did they give such a big man such a small bottle? Like, that's a kid-sized bottle. But this is Myles Garrett. He out here just like pulling the LeBron during the press conference. Because this is clearly Myles Garrett's team. It is like, you know, when the announcers be like, oh yeah, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns. This is his team.
I mean, at the beginning or then? I knew I was going to make a play.
You knew you were going to get that ball.
I was looking at JD bobbling, and I was like, hell, I'm getting ready to block, and then the ball's on the ground, nobody's going for it. I'll take it.
It's your first touchdown since when, Miles?
Since Carl Nassib stole one from me.
So you get the franchise sack record and the first NFL touchdown in the same play. What were your emotions like after that?
Yeah, let's go. Let's get another one. This game's not over. There's a lot of time left, and it came down to the end. So I was just trying to make another big play for us.
Miles, did you guys respond in the last 48 hours like you wanted them to after you spoke to us on Friday?
Absolutely. They came focused on Saturday, and today we put it all together, and we put a hell of an effort on offense and special teams.
You repeatedly raise the bar for this locker room. You respond. The defense has been finding consistency. Why has the unit been able to make that shift when it's the most important time of the year now?
You know what that sweater looked like? That's the itchy sweater from SpongeBob. Remember when SpongeBob made a sweatshirt out of like his eyelashes or something like that? That's what Myles Garrett has on. He has on the itchy SpongeBob sweater.
I mean, it's because that standard is being set. Now it's just got to be consistent. Always reaching, the height of our abilities and our talent. We can't just be paper champs. We got to go out there and prove it every time we're on the field. And so, once, I.
By the way, look how big that collar. Like that's custom made. That collar, look how big the collar is.
Something, I bring that intensity. I feel like they match it every time. I just got to do it every time, and the leaders on this team got to do the same thing.
Denzel, do you feel like you guys defensively are finding your groove at the right time?
I feel so. You always want to find your groove towards the end of the season, but I mean, I feel we're coming on strong, working collectively as an entire defense, and just got to finish strong.
Miles,
All right. Yes.
Clowney said that that quarterback was faster than Lamar. And fourth quarter, he was thinking, I wish Lamar would come back out. What do you think?
The way he was looking, he might have been faster than Lamar.
Clowney did not say that on no press conference. Did Clowney actually say that in the press conference? Engraven, you gonna hit me with that nonsense? I do not look like Myles Garrett, Engraven. Shout out Engraven in the stream, man. Everybody showing Engraven some love right now. But Engraven just said I look like Myles Garrett. And I don't get it. I don't look like this man at all. I wish I did look like Myles Garrett. I wish I was 6'5", 2'4". If I looked like Myles Garrett, I wouldn't be streaming right now. I would be doing something else for a living. Probably being paid more. But unfortunately, I look like me. Ray Rag said my acting career would have went way further. But I appreciate the love. Ray Rags with Super Chat says, can we give Myles more money, all the remaining cap? We could just give Myles a stake in the ownership. You know what I mean? Like, let's let Myles be the owner of the team, too. Max says Myles' mustache is the same one the German emperor supported. Okay, Kaiser, I got real nervous about where that Super Chat was going, Max. Emperor supported Kaiser Wilhelm II. So this is like way back in the day. I never knew it, but I seen that mustache somewhere. Oh man, Jadavion, I hope we don't play the Ravens again. That was he didn't need to put that one out there. But yeah, Huntley's probably more healthy. I think Engraven brings up an excellent point in the chat. Huntley is probably healthier and more explosive than Lamar. Lamar's been beat up all year, but he's had to be out there because they have nobody else.
All out quick. I mean,
and also, if you're Lamar Jackson, how explosive do you want to be when you know if you get hurt, it's over, right? And and I know people think that he doesn't provide much more than running, but he provides much more than running. So he's got to tone that down a little bit just to stay healthier.
Pretty well. He looked like he was, not just a second start of the season or second game of the season for him. He was getting out with efficiency, running when he needed to, scrambling when he needed to, and he was making plays with his feet. He's tough.
Is there a tendency to let down when a guy like Lamar leaves the game? They're taking nothing away from Huntley, but does that happen?
No. I mean, you lick your chops when the second guy comes in. You're thinking, how many can I get? And let's tee off on this guy. He was ready.
Who said that? Who said that? Was that Karen that said Myles looked dressed like Carlton Banks? You're not going to do my boy like that. All right, y'all not going to do my boy like that. We're not about to do my boy like that. You don't look. Y'all not about to do my boy like that. Y'all not about to say he dressed like Carlton Banks. He has a little bit more goo. He has a little bit more goo, a little bit more swagoo than Carlton Banks. We're not going to do Myles like that.
Take off at any given moment. So then it was like, where's he going to go next? And then it was rush integrity and I'm trying to corral him.
Myles, when the Ravens recovered that onside kick, I guess what's going through your mind, and then what are you telling the other guys on defense there?
Kind of just looked at JD and smiled because no offense in offense, but I don't want it in their hands. I want it in my hands. I want to be able to make the play. And so I looked at him and said, we got to do it. He smiled.
He looked at JD and said, yeah, you know what it is. The face of the team got to get it done. The franchise quarterback of this team is our defensive end. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? If we need a play, it's going to be made by 9-5. You know what I mean? It was back when we had Josh Cribbs was our only good player. It was like, all right, man, kick return to nothing. 9-5. 9-5, 90, 21, and 28. That's what we got.
I agree. We went out there. I went low, he went high, made the play, and then DW came with the stout to finish it off. That's how it should be.
Myles, how good has Jadavion been for you, especially these last two games?
I mean, it's been a 1-2 punch. I tee off on run, he goes off on pass, and then interchanges. So, being able to have someone you can count on the other side and really on the whole D line, it's beautiful to see. And then once we're, they're trying to take us out the game, trying to go quick, or trying to double team Chip, we know we got some great guys in the secondary to rely on.
Any other questions for Denzel? Or we set with Denzel? Everybody good? Thanks for joining us, Denzel. We'll have a couple more minutes with Miles. We'll start with Baker.
So, Miles, when you say what you did on Friday, do you get feedback from guys? Or that their feedback is how they looked on Saturday and Sunday?
It's how they looked on Saturday and Sunday.
Did you hear anything from anyone?
I wasn't worried about any feedback or any comments guys made. We got a standard. I got a standard for what I want out of this team and what we want to achieve. And I have a vision. I want everybody to be part of it. And
Myles Garrett is the coach of the team.
I'm gonna lead it.
Did you know heading into your interview Friday with us, you were going to kind of deliver a wake-up call, or did that just kind of come out?
I mean, it came out Friday. Seeing how we were on the field, and just kind of our demeanor, attitude, just wasn't where I wanted it to be. I think.
All right, man. See, this is where I get mad at our media. Everybody sees what they see right now, but ain't nobody gonna ask this man where he got this sweater. This is why our media is a joke. They don't ever ask the right questions. Why nobody asked about that sweatshirt drives me nuts. We got a super chat from Kieran who says, Q, Collinsworth was not there, but Harlan and Green were still on the Charm Cities. Can we get a Dinkin on the national broadcast? I mean, I would be all for Doug Deacon on the net. Well, Doug Deacon can't be anywhere without Jim Donovan, right? Like, y'all do realize the whole charm of Doug Deacon is the fact that Jim Donovan does like 95% of the work, and all Doug Deacon got to do is, ho, 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 what a run by Nick Chubb. Like, that's all Doug Deacon got to do. That's why we love Doug Deacon. He don't got to do much. He just got to ride the coattails. You know what I mean? Hey, Gravy, man, we not related. If I were related to Myles Garrett, I would not be streaming. I would be a part of Myles Garrett's entourage, like babysitting his dog or something like that. Move over Shane Douglas. Oh, the franchise. I thought you was talking about the other Shane Douglas. Myles Garrett is the new franchise. No, Myles Garrett is the logo of this team. Like, if we put a logo on the helmet, it's Myles Garrett's face.
We had a little sharpness or a little bit of focus that we needed, a little bit more sharpness that we need to have, and the guys responded as you saw.
So you said win or go home, right? And what was at stake today. So what does it say about coaches, players you have, that the team did what it did today?
Resilient. That was the biggest thing today. They had that little run in the second half, and we had to be resilient. We had to make some stops, and we just had to make enough plays. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be the way the fans wanted. It's not always going to be 36 to 3 or 36 to 5 or whatever it is. Guys, if they get paid to, they're going to make plays, and that'll come with time. Right now, it's just about winning. That's all that matters.
You guys talked about how valuable the bye week was, and we believed you because you guys were at practice this week sharing that. But now that you played a game, how much value do you see in just getting away, getting some of that rest?
I mean, it was nice. Being able to get some time off and just relax, rest my body, get some massages, get a doctor working on me. But I think the one fault that I had today was probably wearing them Mission of Hope cleats. I love my cause, but damn, they were so small.
We all good?
I love Haiti. I was gonna rock with it the whole time. So I made a play in it, and I said they must not be too small. So I kept on going.
Nobody asks about the sweatshirt. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with our media. If I was in there, I would be like, Myles, what's up with that sweatshirt, bro? He would have been like, it's a custom-made sweatshirt from some... Like, I bet you the sweatshirt has a great story behind it, and he's supporting a small business, and he's probably doing, like, the most charitable thing possible. But I just got to know the story behind that sweatshirt. But you know who always brings the heat when it comes to fashion? Nick Chubb. We got Nick Chubb and Jadavion Clowney.
Yes, sir. Go first. How elusive was that quarterback? I mean, you're used to the other one.
I think he was a little quicker. He came in and he made the whole defense miss. I mean, juked us all, I think. We said on the sideline, hey, I think we need Lamar back out here. I thought he was just as quick and just as good as the first quarter.
Why they got Nick Chubb out there like he gonna say anything?
He came out there and played well for them.
What did you see on that the sack, the little pushing back there?
Man, I just told them, man, we need to make a play. It wasn't seeing, it was just run off the ball. I said, man, somebody got to make a big play for us right now. We just need a play, and I was trying to make one, whatever it takes to make a play.
How nervous was that last couple of series when you well ahead, then they cut it 2-1 possession?
I don't think it was too nerve-wracking. I just felt like our defense was.
Somebody, hold on, we got to screen cap this because the next time somebody is tweeting you some nonsense on Twitter, you got to hit them with this Nick Chubb face. Hold on, let me get that right here. Okay, I had to save that face of Nick Chubb because I feel like that meme is going to become useful at some point in time.
That's all I kept saying. Let's just go finish the game. That's where we need to be on the field anyway. So when we went back out there, I just knew we needed to make a play to end the game, and I said I knew we was going to do that, and we did what we had to do to win.
What did each of you guys think about Ohio's touchdown?
I thought it was a great play. I was trying to tip it to myself at one point. He did, and I see him come up there. Get it. I was like, you got the whole trifecta, the sack, the fumble recovery, and the touchdown. So, great play.
Myles Garrett put together the Exodia pieces on that one play.
I'm a great player. Some of you can't really say wow because
Max said, this is Nick's happy face. Well, I think a lot of people are talking about Nick Chubb's issues in this game. Again, he's had like the one good game against Baltimore. But Baltimore, like, if there's any team in the division that plays us especially well, it's always been Baltimore. Especially like since like Kevin Stefanski, since like Nick Chubb. He just played. Is it because I paused it? Hold on. I know exactly what happened. All right, we should be back.
This time?
Yeah, I mean, I think we passed
the sound
the
should be
ball
back now.
For sure. I think that did open things up for us down the stretch in the first half. But yeah, I mean, that's what we wanted to do, both get on the field. Unfortunately, he got nicked up or something. But I thought it worked well for us while we were doing it.
And Nick, it looked like he had a lot of different formations because of the injuries of the tight ends and all. Did that make it for a stressful practice week? I mean, did that go smoothly, learning all those things?
The audio should be back. I see the level.
Same spot every time, but we have a very smart team on offense, a bunch of mature guys, and I mean, we had a challenge ahead of us. We had guys down due to COVID, and guys stepped up big. Hance, he played different positions for us, and I think our team handled the adversity well.
JD, many months ago, we asked you what you and Miles could be. So now, 13 games later, what can you guys be? How good are you guys together?
I think it's a combination of everybody out there. It's no one or two guys out there on the field. No matter what, we get chipped every game. We get screened, reverse. They try to take the D-line out, but we got great speed linebackers that get over the top with JOK that just go out there and make some of the best plays I've ever seen out of a linebacker. And it's all complimentary football with the D-line.
That's how you know JOK has the potential to be like something like really crazy special. When you hear a dude like Garrett Clowney, who is himself a freak, who is himself a very accomplished defensive player, like, look at what JOK does and goes, I ain't never seen that before. That tells you this man is something special.
Play well as a unit up front, including when Malik McDowell came in and played big for us. Lamar Jackson with his leadership, and it's just a whole group together that's just going there and trying to stay together and play well.
It seems like the last 2 games you were even more active than you have been all year long. Do you feel like you're playing your best football right now?
They counting a lot more right now, and it's winding down, and it's a tight race, and I just want to come out on top, man. I just say I need to go out there every week and just put my best foot forward and best effort and just give it everything I got. And it's really just me being more healthier this late in the season than I have been in the past 2 years. So just me staying healthy and getting out there is going to be good enough for me right now.
Were you at all surprised that Baltimore went for 2 when they did? Or did that?
I wasn't surprised. I just know that them guys think they can score with the quarterbacks they got and the players they got. I played them a couple years before. They beat me in Seattle with the same thing. Went for 2 on me, and went for a 4th for 1, and got it and scored on. And I was just like, boy, that dude can make a play. They ain't scared to go for anything. So just know you got to play them 4 downs, not 3. Just know that every game.
When we talked to Miles on Friday after practice, he made a comment that he felt like the sense of urgency could be even more heightened in the next 48 hours. I guess, did you feel that happen now, looking back on the last 2 days?
Of course, it's picking up. We know that. Like I said, it's a tight race. Our division is very tight, and we need all these games to go to the playoffs. And we know that, and we coming out here fighting, scratching every weekend, just trying to knock them out one at a time and just see where we are at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think Chubb might have answered one question.
Collective sense of determination there in the last couple series, just to,
Chubb is literally out there just to fulfill a league requirement.
among the guys.
Yeah, a defense. I think we were just ready. We were just saying, I said, no matter what situation they're gonna put us in, just go out here and play our game. When they got the onside kick, I just said to the defense, I said, that's good. We get to go out here and finish the game now. So I didn't have a problem with it. I just wanted to make sure that we went out there and finished it, and we did that together this game.
Hey, Nick, why do you think you guys ran it better than you did in Baltimore?
I think it was just a mindset of us not liking how things went last time. And so coming out here and having a different mindset of running the ball and just playing better overall. You come off a loss, we had a week to kind of digest and make corrections, and that's what we did.
If you talked to Kareem, is he doing okay after?
He looked fine to me, but I haven't really talked to him with details or anything.
You guys knew you needed to win to keep playoff hopes alive. What was the locker room like? What do you think the state of the team is now? What's the mentality?
I just felt like the locker room.
Wait, what happened right there? Let me listen into that. Okay. Soul Train said Clowney is Chubb's manager, like in pro wrestling. Look, if the Browns were a pro wrestling stable, it would just be Myles Garrett and a bunch of dudes walking behind Myles Garrett. And then, Stump Mitchell is the manager of that team. You know what I mean? Stump Mitchell coming out there, oh, you want the beast? He going to be like Paul Heyman or Brock Lesnar. You want the beast? You want the beast? Let's bring out the beast. And then Myles Garrett just walks out there. That's the Browns pro wrestling staple. And we would be world champion. We would definitely be world champion of the world. Ray 14 says, the only thing I'm scared about defensively for 2022 is the fact that almost everybody on the defensive line not named Myles Garrett is on 1-year deals. You might be able to retain Clowney on a decent number. You might be able to retain Malik McDowell on a decent number. And if you can do both of those, I feel very good about everything else. Everybody else can go. My worry is hey, are we going to get a Clowney season that's going to be this healthy again? You know what I mean? That's the big worry.
I just feel like the locker room has been the same. Win or go home, and we know that now. And we're in a win state of mind. The room has been the same. I just feel like.
What's the mentality?
I just feel like.
Hold on. I'm sorry, but Nick Chubb's becoming a meme today.
Locker room has been the same. Win or go home, and we know that now. And we're in a win state of mind we've been, but it's very tight. And we know we need all these games to go to the playoffs. We don't want to be going there building these last 4 games for nothing. And you just don't know how that's feeling is. So we know we got something to keep playing for right now. Just keep going in, pitting the next game and try to knock them off and just keep playing.
I figure out how the Browns can fix the offense. We need Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney to walk into the quarterback room before practice and say, hey, Baker, I'm going to need you to get this together, man. I'm going to need you to get this offense together, man. Or else you're going to have to deal with us. And if the offense does not get it together after that, let them know that the punishment will be that if you don't get this into full gear after the Raiders game, every practice we going full contact. And that'll fix it. That'll fix it. Look, we ain't got Stump there to put fear into everybody's heart on the offensive side of the ball. So you got to stump with JD and Myles. And if the quarterbacks still don't want to get it done, we'll put Myles at quarterback and run the Cam Newton offense. We'll run the Tim Tebow offense. Myles can do what Tim Tebow did, right? Yeah. Yeah, he'll be like, Baker would be like, I'm injured, Myles, I'm hurt. It's hard right now. And Myles is like, you want more injuries? Because I injure you. I'll make you hurt. So get it together. You know what I mean? So, hey, look, man, we need some good old intimidation to fix the offense. That's what we need. Intimidation and some luck. They're going to put Myles at tight end. They're going to try to figure it. I'm shocked they didn't do that this week. Who y'all want to hear from, Baker or Kevin Stefanski? Let me see in the chat. Baker or Kevin? See what chat wants. Which press conference you want to hear next, Baker or Kevin? Okay, I see a lot of Baker. We going with Baker? All right, we're going to go with Baker then. I saw more Baker. We're going to go Baker, then Kevin. Then we're going to get final thoughts.
After a big win like that?
Not that many. Mostly just catching up with family and friends. Just responding to them.
When they pulled you off the concussion protocol, did they say where it came from or just kind of how that all happened?
No, it's just the protocol. Obviously, I wasn't very happy about it. It is what it is.
Baker, if you guys have sat up there and said, it doesn't matter how it looks, it's just about winning at this point in the season. Is that sort of how you view it?
Yeah, the point is to win a football game. If you have more points than the other team, you've accomplished your goal.
Baker, what do you think about Myles?
Yo, we're getting full. I'm done with the media Baker Mayfield. This man is done. He is tired of his press responsibilities.
Great play. I was giving JD some crap about him not getting the ball, but Myles strip sack and then being around the ball after he forced it and being able to pick it up and run. That's a scary, large man with the ball in his hands. So it was a great play by him, and obviously they played extremely well today.
Overall, how do you think the offense played today compared to 2 weeks ago?
We did enough to win the game, so that's check that box off. But got conservative. I think we need to put that team away. We got ahead early. Just need to capitalize when the defense is playing like that and holding them to points, and we need to put it away. That's what good teams do, so we need to improve on that. But we were better in the red zone today and on third down. That's something that obviously I've talked to you guys about. So we just need to play better in those situations to put the game away.
Did he just say what I think he said? I'm gonna just let that one lie. I'm just let that one fly. Let that one fly.
What do you like? What do you like most that you guys did offensively in the first half, Baker, that gave you that big lead?
All right, y'all want to run it back? We being messy? Are we being messy? We're going to run it back. We being messy. We being all kind of messy.
Check that box off, but got conservative. I think we need to, put that team away. We got ahead early. Just need to capitalize when the defense is playing like that and holding them to points, and we need to, put it away. That's what good teams do, so we need to improve on that. But we were better in the red zone today and on third down. That's something that obviously I've talked to you guys about. So we just need to play better in those situations to put the game away.
What do you like? What do you like most that you guys did offensively in the first half that gave you that big lead?
Besides the first two drives, we were in 2 3rd and longs, which we talked about, trying to stay out of those. We were in 2 3rd and longs on the first 2 drives. Obviously, the penalty bailed us out with Donovan on the defensive pass interference. But I like that we were efficient on 1st and 2nd down for the most part, and we kept in manageable 3rd downs. That's why we were a lot better today, so we need to continue improving on that.
Vic, on Friday, Miles said they didn't think guys were maybe as locked in or as focused as they needed to be during practice last week. Did guys hear that and did they respond to it?
I didn't hear that. I don't really listen to any of the media stuff, to be honest with you. My job is to prepare the best I can, get our guys on offense the most prepared they can be, and I thought we did a good job. Obviously, whatever Miles did to spark the fire on defense, if that worked, then great. But we got the win, and that's what matters.
You guys talk about the emphasis again to Hooper the ball, say you're down tight ends, who's the game captain.
Now, let me be clear there. I don't think he's calling out Stefanski. I think he's just, in part, you could say he's calling out himself because part of the conservativeness is what he does with the football. So he could be referring to himself. But, I bet there is some frustration, right? Like, there's probably frustration both ways. Kevin clearly wants more, or he thinks that the offense can work just fine with a game manager. The problem with Baker is that whether you think he's good or not, he's definitely not a game manager. Baker is somebody who's at his best when he's allowed to make plays. And I don't know if that's what Kevin wants. Is somebody who is a quarterback who's going to go and do his own thing and make plays. And I think that's where both of these guys have to mature, have to grow, and learn to live with each other. And what I mean by that is Kevin's got to give him that reign at the end of games to, hey, make a play. Like, I think that's something that Kevin can and should do. Baker's also got to do a better job of taking care of the ball. You know what I mean? So both those things can happen. And I don't think there's any real friction between Kevin Stefanski and Baker, but I do think that's like they need to meet each other a little bit more. And hopefully they handle that before it becomes a big thing like the Odell thing did. I think the Browns coaching staff, hopefully they learned some lessons from what happened with the Odell thing and what can happen when you have an issue that you don't address and you just let kind of sit there and bubble up. It becomes what Odell became. And why you had to release him. Newshawk with a 20 bomb. Appreciate you. Says Cincy is losing bad and Buffalo is losing bad. Cleveland on the road today. We need to quit bitching. We're almost to first place. Come on, bros. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, now's not the time to be like down bad about the Browns. Now's the time to understand like there is an opportunity to take advantage of that we in no chance should like have, but it's there and we got to take it if it's there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Hoop's a guy that a vital piece of our offense that,
He might be calling out AVP. No, I'm just being messy.
He's a great player, and so just need to get him more involved. Right now it's about getting the ball in our playmakers' hands and letting them do the work, and he's one of those guys for us.
And again, I know people are bringing up Baker's raw interception numbers, but you have to compare what Baker's interceptions are versus how many times he's asked to throw. And also, you have to compare him with what he's done recently, right? He's thrown a lot of those interceptions in the last month.
You've been coming out of a game in the last couple of weeks?
This is the best I felt since week 2. So, yeah.
How good did it feel to get Jarvis Landry in the end zone? Could you just talk about his effort to get to that corner to get in for that touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, just a great route overall. Man-to-man coverage. He's selling a run like he's going to block that guy and then just explosive out of his cut. I didn't make it easy on him with ball placement. It was left inside to where he had to turn, but he did a little hesitation and made a great play. It's just, it's good to see guys like that get in the end zone, but he deserves all of that for sure.
Hey, what's going through your head in the fourth quarters? They keep closing the gap, and obviously this was a game that you guys had to win.
Yeah, I mean, I had all the confidence in the world. Obviously the onside kick was unfortunate. I mean, it looked like Jano was trying to go block for somebody to recover it back behind, and it just happened to take a bounce and hit him. So I had confidence in our defense. They've been playing great all game long, and so and they stepped up big. Obviously Jadavion's sack, and then Denzel making that tackle in a very critical fourth down. It's just they played extremely well today, and they did it especially when it was crunch time.
How challenging was it this week? With all the new formations you guys used today because of the tight end shortage, what was the challenge like preparing for that this week? And did you like the productivity that you were able to get out of some of those looks?
I mean, it's the same challenge we go into every week. It's whatever our game plan is, and we knew going into this one we were going to be down tight ends, so it wasn't like it happened on Friday. We prepared all week for this to happen, and guys came out. Obviously Blake and Miller, which we don't even. I take that back. I don't call him Miller in the building. He's a rookie. He's called Maurice in the building right now. So Maurice and Blake Hance played great as the extra tight ends. And then obviously putting Michael Dunn in there as well. Those guys stepped up, but they knew their job, and we expect those guys to do the same thing every week.
With the way the defense has been playing, what confidence does it give you? You guys can make a run here.
I mean, that's the goal, is to make a run, but it's a 1 week at a time. We have to take care of business next week. We play on Saturday against the Raiders, AFC opponent. Obviously, extremely important game, but each one right now for us here on out is extremely important, so we have to handle it the same way.
How tough was it to see Kareem go out, especially after he just come back from missing all that time?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate, but that's why we got Dearness that steps up time and time again. Hopefully nothing serious.
All right, Ray Rag says, I want to see that INT again. It looked like miscommunication on how the route should break, but it could have just been a bad ball. It could have been a number of things, man. Like, breaking down who's responsible for INTs is ultimately, I'm going to just leave that up to the coaches. But, yeah. Hey, I thought the wind took it. I thought he just threw an off ball, and the wind took it. Again, I don't think INTs are that big of a deal, but clearly Kevin Stefanski does. Like, I'm always willing to live with interceptions and mistakes from players who can make plays. It's just you got to make them plays, right?
I didn't really talk to Kareem, but he seemed like he was in good spirits, positive for next week, so we'll see. Obviously not my call, but he seemed like he was in good spirits.
Did you feel the defense's determination even from the sideline?
Yeah, I mean, all game long, you could tell they were locked in and ready to go. So that's why, when the onside kick happened, I truly wasn't that worried. It's one of those situations like, no, we shouldn't be in the situation, but I trust those guys.
What are you thinking as you see that the defense make that final stand? Clowney, Miles, and Denzel come out there.
Then I somehow have to find my helmet and go take a knee, get out of there.
Yeah, Baker's still frustrated. He should be, but Baker's still frustrated. Hey, man. Yeah, I agree with Baker. Look, Baker knows more than anybody. Look, I know a lot of people on Twitter give Baker a ton of excuses, but the one person and why I feel ultimately like Baker can be better than what he is the one person who never is going to give himself that excuse is Baker Mayfield, and he doesn't just do that for show. He knows. He knows that, hey, he could have just put this game away and made things a lot simpler. He didn't, right? Like, he didn't do enough to just make this thing simple. And he's frustrated with that. And I'm okay with that. He should be frustrated. Because if we want to beat Green Bay, if we want to make the playoffs, we're going to eventually need Baker to step up and be the dude that we thought he was. Ray Rag said, I could only imagine if Kevin Stefanski coached Brett Favre. Who did coach Brett Favre? It was like Brad Childress for a while. And it was what, Andy. Was it Andy Reid that coached Brett Favre? Who was Brett Favre's coach for most part? Was it Andy Reid? That was his offensive coordinator, I think. Oh, Mike Holmgren. We know Mike Holmgren don't care about doing work. Look, Mike Holmgren just like, all right, Brett, you do the whole thing. All right. We know, because we know what he did here in Cleveland. He didn't work. Yeah. I forgot about Mike Holmgren. Sorry, coach. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, Andy Reid was his OC. Yeah, I hope Baker plays better. I think he is more than capable of it. All right, let's hear from Kevin, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, hard-fought win. Tough in December. That's what it's like. I thought guys stepped up, on really all three sides of the ball with guys that were unavailable due to injury or otherwise. Guys stepped up and did a nice job. It goes down there to an onside kick. They get the ball. Those are nail-biter situations. I don't think we wanted to be in that situation. But listen, that's the NFL, and that's certainly December football versus a good football team, well-coached football team. So proud of the guys in going 1-0 today. +1 in the turnover margin, and then Miles getting the sack, the fumble recovery, the touchdown was obviously incredible. Great effort by him. Defensively, I believe they were 1 for 12 on third down. That last series there, getting the sack on third down, getting the big stop on fourth down by Denzel. Offensively, efficient at times. We stubbed our toe there in a couple second half drives, going 3 and out a couple times, but 6 for 13 on third, 2 for 2 in the red zone. That's the #1 red zone team out there. And then I think special teams played some good complementary ball. I thought our kickoff unit was excellent. We got him inside the 20 and punt, and then JoJo Natson making a really veteran heads-up play there on that kickoff return. But ultimately, did what we set out to do, which is come in here, get a win versus a good team in our division, and then we'll set our sights on next week tomorrow. With that, I'll take any questions.
Kevin, that last play by Denzel, is that a play that you just expect your #1 corner to make?
Yeah, and I think Dan, I think it was a great play by Denzel, but I think it's indicative of when everybody does their job. Coaches, we put those guys in position, and then you got 11 guys that do their job. One guy may blitz a certain gap, and he doesn't make the play, but he opens up the play for somebody else, and then the ball has to come out, and Denzel's right there to make a play.
Kevin, who informs your sideline that Lamar's not coming back?
I think it goes from the PR staff, this crack PR staff, to our coaches in the booth, who then get it down to us.
And before that happened, did you have any flashbacks to last year's game?
I don't remember last year, Tony. I have a bad memory.
Kevin, did you take the ball because of the wind? And then also with that in mind, did you have an idea of kind of what
There's a lot of jokes that can be made about Kevin Stefanski not remembering last year. I'm going to leave it at that.
range might be going that direction?
We did, Tony, this one's for you. We did take the ball, so we would have the wind. And, with Tucker, he's a great kicker. So, even with that advantage in the fourth quarter, he's somebody that, is just, you're never feeling good when he's attempting a field goal. He was trying to block. I didn't see it, Nate, but I think I was told it took a funky bounce and hit him. He was not trying to recover it.
What about Kareem?
Yes.
Kareem Hunt?
Yes, so Kareem has an ankle injury. We'll get images on that tomorrow. Was close. He wanted to try and fight through it, but just didn't think we should put him back out there.
Kevin, did the rest that Baker had, how do you think that helped him in this game today?
Yeah, I think it helped him. We talked about it all week. He looked good in practice, felt good, and I think the rest helped.
Kevin, when you use so many formations like you did today, does that make it a tough practice week that you don't overdo it during the week? Or
he had 2 practice
the way it turned out?
Yeah, I think we do put a lot on the guys, Tony, to your point. We don't want to, at times, sit in just vanilla formations, if you will. We will at times, as you saw, but we put a lot of emphasis on our shifts and motions, and with that, you got to be great with your procedural stuff. And I thought the guys, by and large, were pretty good today.
Kevin, why do you think it was so hard to close out that game?
I mean, it's a good team. It's a good team. They're well coached. They have great players. I'd have to look at it to give you a real good answer, Scott, but ultimately, we got the ball there, and we didn't sustain drives, certainly on offense in that second half like we needed to. I mean, we went on some long drives in the game, just when it there in that second half, we just didn't do it a couple times.
You talk about that play on by Miles. How about that sack by Clowney?
Yeah, that was good too.
Series and the way he played overall.
Yeah, JD plays really hard. his length, his size, his ability to get off the ball fits with what we're trying to do, and he affects the plays. And I know everybody gets wrapped up in sacks, and that certainly was a big one there on that last drive. But we really put the emphasis on pressure and how you affect the quarterback, and I think he does that at a really high level.
You were down tight end.
Shout out to the one individual watching me on Twitch right now. Shout out to you.
Yeah, Nick.
One more on Miles' play. How rare is that to have a guy who's able to do all that in one play? And it looked like on TV you got pretty fired up on the side.
I forgot I went live.
We haven't turned any sacks into fumbles this season, so hopefully that turns the corner on that one for us. So just a great play by a great player. He's very difficult to block. Just ask our offensive linemen, when they have to go up against him in practice. And for him to be ball aware in that moment, something we've been talking about and emphasizing, just to get it out and then to recover it, run it back in, I thought was, again, a great player. Great player making a big play in a big moment.
You were down tight ends, and Austin had arguably his best game of the season. Sometimes it was just him out there. You're able to focus on getting him the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what we talked about this week. With you got to see who's available to you, and then you got to adjust accordingly. So Blake Hance gave us good reps as a second tight end, and Forrestall got in there as well. So we had to adjust a little bit in terms of how we were using certain guys. And Hoop knew we were putting a lot on him this week, and we were counting on him. We made him a captain this week just because he's been so accountable to his teammates, and he did a great job. And I know Dave was, I'm sure, very excited for him, and I know Dave's chomping at the bit to get back as well.
Whose decision was it to check Baker for the concussion?
Just following the protocol. I don't know exactly who it was. It wasn't Baker's.
Yeah, I noticed that. I mean, did it come from someone outside of your sideline, do you know?
As far as I know.
And Kevin, how often do you guys practice that JoJo Natson where he put his body outside the playing field and then touch the ball?
Yeah, it's not something that you practice, but you certainly cover that in those special teams meetings often. And, JoJo's a veteran player. I bet you all of the guys on our sideline knew that rule. And so everybody was aware what JoJo was doing as the ball was rolling out there. And I think that's just a credit to Coach Brief in making sure that those guys are situationally aware, because those often come up in special teams plays.
How much did you know about Huntley going in?
I'm sorry?
Huntley, you were prepared to play Lamar, and then he comes in, and he seemed to have a lot of Lamar in him with the way he played. Just how difficult was that for you guys to deal with?
Well, he played recently. He played all of that Chicago game, so you got good tape on him. Skill sets are similar. He can throw it. He can make plays late in the down. As you saw, he's hard to get on the ground. So we felt good about our plan, not having to dramatically change with him in there.
Kevin, after the last one, your first game in Baltimore, 40 rushing yards, how much concerted effort was to turn that around and get back to where you're at that game?
Yeah, we just, we have a high standard for our team, for our offense, for our pass offense, rush offense, you name it. So the guys took it to heart. We worked hard this week. I thought Coach Callahan did a really good job putting together a game plan that the guys could execute, with a young player at right tackle, and making sure that the guys understood the plan, and I thought they, by and large, did a nice job.
Yep. All right. So I know some people are mad, but I don't know if we got time to be mad, man. Look, hold on. I'm trying to show y'all the scores right now. All right, yeah, but if we look at these scores in the NFL, we don't got time to be upset because, quite frankly, Ray Rags with a $10 super chat, appreciate that. Says, you would think the Cleveland media would know about the independent person for concussions, considering that the team is kind of the reason for it because of how the team handled Colt McCoy. Yeah, I think they know about it. I just think it's one of those questions that, like, it sounds dumb to ask, but you do have to ask to absolutely 100% confirm it. Like, you do have to confirm those things when you're going to write a story about it. So you need to get the confirmation. So you do end up having to ask it, even though it's kind of a silly question. It's one of those things where I don't think they have a choice but to ask that, because if they were to write that, just assume that it was that, that's kind of irresponsible for a journalist to do without confirming it with the source. And that's their opportunity to do it. So I get why they ask that, even though it's not like the most insightful question in the world. All right. So right now, we look at these scores. Bengals are down 20-6 with 11:52 in the fourth. They can come back from that. They are an explosive enough offense. They've come back before, but that's going to be tough for them. The Buccaneers are up 24-10. If both of those scores hold, then the Bengals will be at 7-6, technically tied for second place with the Cleveland Browns, even though they get the tiebreaker because they have a better division record as of now. But they will be tied with the Browns at second. The Bills, I think, would actually be out of the playoff and be back in the hunt graphic. And then that would put the Browns closer to that territory. Now, again, it's going to matter what happens in other areas of this game. But next week you get to play the Raiders, who are kind of in the hunt. If you beat the Raiders, it's another AFC win. So, wild card starts to lean your direction. And then let's just see what Baltimore's schedule looks like. Where's Baltimore at? Because we know what Cincy's schedule is like. Cincy has a pretty tough schedule going ahead. But what's Baltimore's schedule looking like? All right, so Baltimore, they have to play Green Bay next week. And they might not have Lamar Jackson, right? So they have to play Green Bay. They might not have Lamar Jackson. They'll have to play Cincinnati. That's going to be one of those things that, like, either way, either result probably won't matter. And then they played the Los Angeles Rams in Pittsburgh. They play Pittsburgh again? Okay, no, they only played Pittsburgh once. So, and that's at Pittsburgh. So, I mean, it's very possible. It's very possible. But Browns got to do their part, right? This super chat comes from LA Dogtown, who says, "What's up, Q? What do you think about Wills' play overall this year compared to last year? Seems like too much pressure being allowed from the left side." I haven't really felt like the pressure's been that bad from the left side. Honestly, I feel like Wills has been fine. He hasn't been like highlight worthy, but he's been fine. I feel like the issues and the pressure comes from the right side, and that's where we have Blake Hance and James Hudson, and that's where the injury to Chris Hubbard has hurt us the most, and also the injury to Jack Conklin has hurt us, right? Because we're running third-string guys out on the right side, I think the right side has been a little bit more of an issue than the left side. I don't really think the left side's been that big of a deal. But I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to it, but I haven't had any reason to pay attention to it, if that makes sense. So far, things are falling in the Browns' direction. We'll see what happens later on, how these games finish out. But I think we had a productive day so far on stream. I feel like we've had a good time here. So I guess I'm just going to end it here. I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank everybody for watching the stream and supporting. I appreciate you guys 1,000%. But that's going to be it for this week's stream. Hope you guys join me next week as we watch the Raiders game. Ray Rags with the super chat before I go says, if the Bengals lose, we own the tiebreaker. The first tiebreaker is head-to-head, not division record. Oh, yeah, so the Browns will be in second place if the Bengals lose. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But, all right, y'all. Hope y'all have a great day. Have a good night. And be sure to be subscribed and watch these videos as they come out. I'm going to have my review of this game out in the early part of the morning like always. But for today's live streams, my name's Quincy, and I'm out of here.